What's going on, YouTube? I am the Masked Man, and today I am going to review season one of Sleepy Hollow. I I thank God for free trials and for Sleepy Hollow being available you know in its entirety on Hulu. Who knew? Um, but the premise of the show, as pulled from IMDb, Ichabod Crane is resurrected and pulled 2.5 centuries through time to unravel a mystery that dates all the way back to the founding fathers. Um, that's the crust of the show. Um, just to get right off the bat, I think this is a great show, and I think that you know people should watch it. If you have not seen Sleepy Hollow, it is definitely a show worth watching. At least the first season has proven that is worth watching. The first season was very good. I liked the first season, and I thought the characters was very interesting, and the story was interesting, and I think it's worth checking out. Now, the characters in the show are Ichabod Crane, played by Tom Mison, Abby Mills, played by Nicole Behar, lovely looking woman, and Orlando Jones, playing Captain Frank Irvine. And throughout the show, featured prominently in the first season, is John Cho playing Andy Brooks, also a detective who is, very in love with Abby Mills, and but not in a relationship, never dated her, and didn't have any sort of real relationship, but just loves her and wants to see her live through the apocalypse. Now, the premise of the show really doesn't cover what the show is about. But the show is about Ichabod Crane and Abby Mills. They are the witnesses from Revelation, from the book of Revelation. And they are supposed to protect the earth in the end times. So this story is a combination of the book Sleepy Hollow and a combination of the Bible and also different, lost texts relating to the Bible that were left out of the original translation. It's a very interesting use of older materials, and they use it very creatively. The Ichabod Crane character, who has been dead for 250 years and is thrown in this modern time, I feel like is really a very excellent, portrayal of somebody who is from the past who has to react to today's times. One of the only things I don't like, though, is that he doesn't change his clothes. He doesn't wear, different outfits. Even if they're still old, he just different colors, just try different things. Maybe have a little thing about him trying to be fashionable in modern times. They don't cover that. But his relationship with Abby Mills, is spectacular. And it's even more interesting how close those two characters are. And the Ichabod Crane character has a wife named Katrina who is also still alive but trapped in purgatory. Now, I'm going to say just for a second that's a little weird. That she's been trapped in purgatory for over 250 years with a demon, and she's still alive, but she never died to get into purgatory. So does purgatory have like some magical powers where you never age inside of purgatory and you never need anything to eat or drink inside of purgatory? I'm just wondering how that works. It was never fully explained in the show how somebody in purgatory can be trapped. Somebody who didn't die can even be trapped in there in the first place. And they may have had some kind of explanation how she got in there, but I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about how she doesn't age and how she doesn't need anything to eat or drink. That was not explained. I hear that the show is in danger of getting canceled, and I think that would be a shame because it's very interesting because, the Abby Mills character is, a tad bit complex. The only black female character who is, more complex than her, is Megan Good's character from Minority Report. Because you have this thing where she's a cop and she wants to leave, but she lost her partner. He got his head chopped off, and she is working with a man that's from the past, and she has to deal with all of these issues. But she's also a girl, who betrayed her sister and had her sent off into a mental institution. So she's dealing with a lot of different things in the first season, and you don't know, like, is this woman actually a good person or not? So I really like how they do her character. I really like Abby Mills as a character. Tom Meyerson is great, as a guy who's out of touch, with modern times. It really reminds me of a show that I really did not like. That I think was called Forever. About a guy who died and showed up in a river. I think he does a better job of being an old guy, from the past, even though he's been dead, for the 250 years, and that other guy who was called Henry had been alive for all of that time and still wasn't hip. But the challenges in the first season were they had to contend with a demon by the name of Moloch. They didn't go all the way and call him the devil or Lucifer, and they're not trying to stop the Antichrist, even though they're talking about Revelation and the end times. They're not trying to stop the Antichrist from being born, but they are trying to stop the horsemen. And the horsemen are actually real people that are given their powers through the demon Moloch. Now, I don't know who the horsemen are biblically. I would have to go back and read the Bible. But I thought it was very interesting that the horsemen are not demons or not angels. They're not independent forces who could fight this demon. They get their power from the devil character. They get their power from Moloch. And I found that to be very interesting, that he could bestow these powers, the power of death and pestilence and war and famine, onto real human beings, and they are just endowed with this power. Most of the first season was spent trying to figure out what was going on with his wife in purgatory, how to get her out, how to reunite with her. And Ichabod was very obsessed with that. They spent a good portion of the first season trying to convince Captain Frank Irvine that these claims that they were making were legitimate claims, and that there really were evils and witchcraft and demons in the town that needed to be fought against. And it wasn't until he saw the horsemen for himself, decapitated, chained up, with artificial sunlight, that he fully came to the realization that this is real and he needs to become a part of the war. All in all, I feel like Sleepy Hollow is highly watchable, almost must see. And the only reason I say that it's simply highly watchable and not must see is because if you have a problem with, somebody, remixing, religious text, or if you have a problem with, decapitation, it's a little bit like Supernatural as far as the show goes. It's not quite the same, but it's along those lines of just spookiness. It's a very spooky show, but I think it's highly watchable. It's very entertaining. It's a lot of fun to watch. I think if you haven't seen Sleepy Hollow, check it out. Get a free trial to Hulu. Get a friend who has Hulu and use their account. It has all of the episodes up to this point. Right now I'm, almost in the middle of season 2, and it's season 2 is good as well. So let me know what you thought. Let me know what you thought about season 1. Let me know what you thought about my review. Leave it in the comments. Rate the video, like it, dislike it, be honest. Subscribe to my channel. Send me an email. Let me know if there's any other shows that you want me to talk about, or any subject in general that you want me to talk about or want me to know about. You can email me at Mr. Mans with an S, business @gmail.com. You can follow me on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter at the Mr. Maskman on Twitter. That is all I have to say on this video. Connect with me, get with me, work with me, help me grow my channel, help me build up this platform. I talk about everything, not just television and movies, but TV and movies is my first love. So let me know what you think. And as always, before I go, can somebody give me a good way to sign off? Somebody give me a good way to sign off from a video, a good little catchphrase, or a good little, way to end the video, like real snappy. Anyway, that's all I got to say, and I will see you in the next video.